Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.
What we're looking for is an abundance of clarity.
What? Where? From where?
I
From
just
you?
don't understand. I think you have been telling me that you're looking to be abundantly clear about your hatred for Veronica,
I have.
Clayton, and me.
How could I possibly?
And I feel like you had. I want this to be clarified a little better.
I'm sorry.
Because as we stand right now, I thought you loved me. And now I'm learning that in fact it has been hatred all along.
No, I've got a surprise twist for you.
What?
Break down the word abundance.
Okay.
I learned this from my mother-in-law.
Okay.
It's abundance.
Oh, so you thought that you hate dancing.
I have abundance for you and abundance for you.
Jakey, can I see that bun dance?
And, yes, absolutely.
Here it comes.
It's peanut butter gelatin, peanut butter gelatin.
He might hate me, but I look at that butt, and I gotta say I'm in love. I fall back in love. I can't stay mad at him.
You can't stay
mad at him
mad.
when I look at that thing.
So-
It does, and the way he shakes it. But
Abundance.
mostly my favorite is when you pull your pants off and on because of the little wiggle you do.
Yeah, I do. And so I'll have to show everybody that later once the cameras are off. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I was gonna say everybody who's listening right now is probably just heard a voice
an unfamiliar
chime in on the abundance bit and the abundance joke and everything, and they were like, "Okay, I know Jacob.
You do.
I know Noel.
They know me.
I know Veronica.
Who doesn't know Veronica? Everybody knows Veronica.
Who just spoke? Who uttered in this space?
Could it be Satan?
Could be Satan.
Satan has udders?
Yes. And it is something that we set up on the last week's show, but if you haven't heard that show yet and you're just tuning in right now, there is a new member of the Biofriendly Podcast.
Yeah, I can't believe this.
I can't believe this is right.
it happened. I can't believe he's here.
I can't believe he's here. It's happening. It's real. He has been a special guest on 3 Christmas episodes or 2? Just two?
Through Christmas knows.
When you say it like that, it just, I'm like, wow.
So much clarified.
Clarified. That's
Like butter.
Like I said, I'm looking for an abundance of clarity today.
Abundance of clarity.
Yeah.
So, would you like to introduce
The abundance of clarity
the
himself?
abundance of clarity itself? The
The
person.
abundance of clarity himself, Clayton Cogswell!
Pew, 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 pew. Pew, pew, pew. When our neighbors,
Those are monsters running into a cave.
goblins. When our neighbors thought we could hit a certain level of volume, they did not know
my God.
that this room could go to 11.
Did we do the horns on that one, I hope?
Yeah, we did.
We did? Okay, good.
Challenge
Okay,
accepted.
that was close.
Absolutely.
That was a close one.
This is a raucous start.
I gotta say before we start the important data that needs to be imparted upon the people of the world environmentally with the
Yes.
assistance of yet another person, because why make it easier?
Why make it easier? Make it harder.
I gotta say it was funny. I was in the office making calls, doing emails,
Making copies.
doing my jam, doing my jam.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing out of one ear. You're explaining, and then I do this, yes, and then I do that, and I would do this, and add with it, and that goes in here, and then plug one of those in, and then this goes up there, and that's attached to this guy over there. And Clayton's like, and then I go and I do something else. I come back, and he's still, and then that goes over, and then this one's over, and then there's 3 of those over there, and I put that up there, and Clayton's like, right, very good, interesting. And then finally, it's I open the door and listen, and I hear Clayton go, great. So, Jacob, I'm going to make this a lot easier for you.
I know, I heard it too, and I was like, I've done 200 years of podcasts like this, and you want me to just change?
We're not going to reinvent the wheel.
No.
We're just going to make it spin.
Look, people.
Wait, the wheel's supposed to spin? I thought it was decorative.
I thought it was a decorative wheel.
It's a table. It's not.
The
It's
Biofriendly
not a table.
Podcast. A decorative wheel.
A decorative wheel. Was that a tag?
I think so. Your decorative wheel.
Your decorative wheel.
Yes, so this is...
Another candidate is Clayton is our abundance of clarity.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So let's jot that down as a possibility too. Clayton is our Bundance of clarity.
Yes, Clayton is
Well,
our
look,
Bundance.
I've had a lot of films. None of them have gone to Sundance, but why not go to Bundance?
I think you did
Bundance.
well there.
Bundance.
I think you'd win. I think you'd win in
there.
Bundance.
We should have a bio-friendly film festival called
Bundance.
Bundance.
Well, call it Abundance.
Abundance
But the way
Film
it's written
Festival.
out, it literally looks like Abundance.
Bundance.
Now I got to give credit to Terry, my mother-in-law. That is her
Terry
thing.
Bear.
She was the one who would always be like, "Remember, abundance is abundance," and that became a thing that we said for years. And
Terry
so,
seems like the type
shout
of
out to
person who would
Terry.
often be doing Abundance.
Yeah, she's got abundance in her heart
Yeah.
and her moves.
In her heart, in her soul,
In her-
and
in her-
I'll be honest,
in
I'm
her
gonna
buns.
say it out loud. I'm sorry, Jamie, but in her buns.
In her buns.
Those buns dance.
The
do.
buns dance.
They do.
The buns dance.
I just
So-
said it publicly on national radio,
National
National
radio.
public-ish
broadcasting service.
So as much fun as we are having, of course, the one thing we have to do is we have to move quick yet again because we're
What?
doing a double whammy.
What's a double? But
A
it
double
isn't.
whammy.
It isn't summer, so
I
that we
know.
can't do that. I'm sorry.
No,
there
we're-
are no
we're-
summer nuggets in the fall.
Okay, we're gonna change the name then.
What?
This is a pumpkin spice podcast.
We're having pumpkin spices.
Pumpkin spices.
Ooh, spicy.
Pumpkin
Yes,
spicy.
yes.
So quick, spicy podcast.
Spicy podcast.
Okay.
Pumpkin spicy podcast. Do you guys like pumpkin spice? Is that your jam?
Love me some pumpkin spice.
Getting a nod from Clayton, a yes on that. Ronnie?
Hot.
Hot pumpkin spice,
hot.
not cold.
Veronica and I discovered this together.
Okay.
Yeah, when we were coming back. If you remember, we got candles. Remember
Yes.
that day we went
Yes,
to Starbucks
yes, yes,
afterwards,
yes,
right?
yeah.
So then we got this. We both got a pumpkin spice, and we thought we're just gonna figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do the hot one. Veronica's gonna do the cold one, and then we tried both coffees back and forth. The hot pumpkin spice latte is fire.
Yeah.
It is good as can be.
Fire.
It's
Fire,
delicious.
right?
Yeah.
The cold pumpkin spice latte tastes like someone put water on piss.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Not good. Not good.
Yeah.
And I'm not bleeping that one. I think that one's right on the edge enough. I think that you can get away
I
with
mean,
it.
is that? Am I wrong?
No, I
You
think
are
you're
not wrong.
I'm not wrong.
I agree.
Yeah. It's weird that one little change can make such a huge difference.
There was a discovery I made just recently at Trader Joe's.
Mm-hmm.
There's the pumpkin spice pumpkin seeds, and let me tell you, they're the reason for the season.
They're the reason for
They
the
are
season.
amazing.
Pumpkin spice, pumpkin seeds.
Oh, it's
Okay.
insanely good.
Pre-roasted, or do I have to roast them myself?
Pre-roasted
Okay.
and very sugary. So
Everybody-
You're welcome. Diabetes.
Okay, everybody get out to your Trader Joe's, brave the tiny parking lot for that grocery store, and they're like,
Oh.
this is enough space for the store, but what do we have left for the parking lot? No, we don't need a parking lot.
Hastings Ranch.
Hastings Ranch?
Hastings Ranch. If you're in Pasadena and you're going to Trader Joe's, go to Hastings Ranch because they have the old movie theater parking lot.
Oh, there you go.
It's at remember the Man Theater that we used
favorite.
to watch Batman in when we
Saw
were kids?
Terminator 2 there. Changed my
Yeah,
life.
it's a great theater.
Wow.
That theater is now a Trader Joe's. So it's a good-sized Trader Joe's, and it has a parking lot large enough to hold theatrical parking.
That's right.
You know,
So-
one thing I didn't
back
expect that
one
I'd
for
experience on the podcast now is
I do miss that theater.
a
What?
level of jealousy that just swelled up inside because I've been doing a podcast for 200 years with this guy right here, and then all of a sudden this guy shows up and he's like, "Remember when we were kids?" And I'm like, "It's before my time. That was like 250 years
It
ago."
was 250 years ago that we watched Terminator 2 at the Man Theater.
It was
Didn't
Judgment Day.
know. Didn't know.
It
I
was
feel so
Judgment Day.
jealous
I'll let
about
that
that. I was like, "Oh, I wasn't there for that." These guys have history, is what I'm trying to say.
Nobody shakes their buns like you do.
Thank you.
It's true.
Me and my
Nobody.
mother-in-law. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she shakes her buns very
Yeah,
well, but
but-
and I'm gonna say it, and I'm sorry, Terry, but nobody shakes buns like Jacob Gibbons.
Thank you.
Nobody.
Thank you. All right, let's get to the subject. We've already gone halfway through the allotted pumpkin spice time.
Well,
We
we only talk about the environment for like 3 minutes. That's the secret of the show.
That's the rule. That's the rule to the Biofriendly Podcast.
Secret of the show.
Secret of the show. So today, the kids nowadays, they say
I've heard of them.
when they say that something happened, and then you're like, well, how do you know that happened? And they go, I brought receipts, right?
Really?
I got receipts. Like somebody texted them something
Right.
like, I don't know if that's true, and they go,
Oh,
bam.
So I should stop deleting my receipts
yeah,
when I have
don't delete your
insidious
receipts. Yeah.
events with
Yeah.
young people.
When somebody says something, this is a hey, write that down.
Time code 925.
I cannot believe it. I have a lot of mistakes in the past. I didn't keep my receipts.
You gotta.
So that means someone else has a receipt and I don't.
You don't have the receipt.
So I'm just gonna get like flayed one day.
Yes,
and I'll have no answer for it.
You're going down. You'll have no way to protect yourself.
Can we get a millennial check on this?
Millennial
or
check.
Gen Z.
Yeah.
Veronica.
Yeah. Gen Z.
You are old enough to be our daughters.
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Receipts?
That's a thing.
That is.
For
It is,
sure.
right? It's a
For
thing.
Sure. Yeah.
And if-
I've used
check.
some of my receipts here and there.
Yeah.
A couple of
Really?
times.
It's
I have my receipts.
if you tell somebody that so and so did something and you're like,
Right.
and I have receipts,
Right.
and you can back
Yeah.
it up.
Like no way that happened. You want to see the receipts?
I
I have
gotta.
the receipts right
Just
here.
gonna speak to my lawyer.
Noel's got to grab his phone really quick. I got to just delete a few things off my phone. He really is running to his office and closing his door.
He closes the door.
It's like, oh crap.
This is a pumpkin spice episode. I need you back here. So, in all jokes, okay, he handled it. He took care of business.
handled it.
He took care of business.
Got it. He got
He's
it.
fine. He's fine.
are no longer.
He's fine. What do the lawyers say?
So thank God we have Clayton on board now.
Yeah.
This is now a one-person podcast.
Okay.
I've booked a flight to Brazil.
I'm running away for a very long time.
Everybody won't know who I am anymore.
Okay.
And that's fine. My Portuguese has improved.
Cole Nerrell.
Oh, no.
This is fine.
Too many receipts for
So
no.
receipts.
We're talking about the actual paper receipt. Now, the environmental conversation, again, this isn't one of those ones where it's like, this is the biggest problem we have in the world and we got to solve it and whatever. But it comes up from time to time in the news and in the media. And California, no surprise, is working on a ban.
Oh, we ban everything.
I know, we ban everything, right? But,
Wait a minute. Whoa.
yeah,
Banning what?
the
Receipts.
paper receipt.
Actual paper, like as in I go to Ralph's,
And you have to take it digitally.
and if I actually get a receipt, I can go to jail.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
No, you won't go to jail. They'll get fined.
Oh, thank God.
They'll get fined.
Oh.
So the person. So this is a Assembly member Phil Ting has introduced AB 161 to the
realize.
California Assembly, and the nickname of it is "Skip the Slip" legislation. So that's the whole point behind it. Now he does have a good point that it does cause some problems. Skip the slip.
I'm sorry. This is the most.
It's
What do we
amazing.
do here in California?
I know,
This is the
I
most
know.
ridiculous.
So I agree that
Good news is because of all of my past transgressions, I'll be in Brazil.
he's in Brazil. He doesn't have to worry about
you
it.
pass receipts.
So I don't care.
But I'm going to
You do whatever you want in your
I'm going
stupid
to tell you
state.
some facts that Phil Ting has brought to our attention about receipts. That's going to kind of blow your mind.
Okay.
It's going to blow your mind. You ready?
Okay.
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 Bummer
Tell me.
run.
Bummer run.
Each year in the U.S., up to 10 million trees are used to make the paper,
Oh.
and 21 billion gallons of water are used
in America.
in America
Okay.
to make receipts. The annual waste from receipts in the U.S. is 686 million pounds of waste.
Okay.
Skipping receipts would save 12 billion pounds of carbon dioxide, the equivalent of 1 million cars on the road, by skipping receipts.
In just the state of California or over the whole
All
United
of the
States?
United States.
I see.
How do they factor that in?
I don't know. I think they're measuring in the trees, the gallons of water, and the pounds of waste.
Okay.
And they're coming to that number. 93% of paper receipts are coated with bisphenol A, BPA, or bisphenol S, BPS, which is used as a color developer to help the receipts be legible. It is BPA that makes them ineligible for recycling. When we touch receipts, the chemical coating is absorbed into our bodies through our hands in mere seconds. Researchers at New York State Department of Health documented connections between BPA exposures and developmental and neurological problems. BPA impacts fetal development and is linked to reproductive impairment, type 2 diabetes, thyroid conditions, and other health concerns.
Holy smokes.
So, companies have sought out non-BPA paper, but the typical replacement is BPS, a similar chemical, which research indicates has similarly detrimental effects as BPA. So, all the ink in this stuff is bad for us to touch.
It's the coating.
It's the coating.
It's the coating.
Yeah.
So the coating is essentially plastic.
Yes.
It's a plastic-based coating, right? Except that they make, in order for it to be, who here is from the 1700s like me?
Me.
And has felt like fax paper. The good old that's
The
what it
Thermal burning the ink into it.
That's what we're still using. We're just using the same kind of tech to coat it in order to get clearer ink. to pop out.
Yeah.
And so that you can print faster and you can use less money on the ink and you can have it last longer. And
Do you remember shopping at like Macy's or something like that when you were a kid and you hear like
It's an old school paper.
actually printing?
Yeah.
Why don't we do that anymore?
yeah, well, we could, but we're not going to because, BPA is better, obviously.
Yeah. So the transition was to be able to do it faster, more efficiently,
Faster
less
for less
expensive.
money. Yes,
Less expensive.
and have the paper last longer and the ink last longer and everything last longer, and that's the idea, right? The problem is that coating is
Bad.
It's a nanoplastic.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
It's a nanoplastic that is like painted on in like a sheen. Okay,
Yeah.
so every time you touch it, little bits of it are coming off.
Yeah.
And because it's so tiny, it absorbs into your skin really quickly. And there's even some research that says it can pass the blood-brain barrier, get into your noggin, cause all sorts of. It sucks. It's a problem, right?
Yeah.
So it's actually good to not use them anymore, right? They're not great for the environment, and you can't recycle them because of what's on them.
Yeah.
And that is crummy.
It is crummy.
That's crummy. I'll give you that.
Yep.
I think that you've got to have the thing about banning is that it reduces some options for some people. I think if you were going to say we're going to ban this type of receipt, then I think I'm up for it.
Yeah.
But but like to say you can't make a paper receipt of any kind and just say in California you have to have something that can be recycled.
Yeah.
Well, then because there's going to be folks who are going to need to have a receipt, and it'll be a pain in the butt for them. I mean, you'll figure it out. I guess we all move forward and do whatever. But
Right.
I don't know. It just seems like classic California to me.
Oh, it does. It does.
And also on like, there's confusion on carbon. There's so much confusion on carbon and where it goes. If you cut down a tree, the problem is that the tree's not going to keep growing. I guess you're losing some there, but some trees are going to. I mean, it sounds like a lot of trees. But if you're doing that responsibly, you've got new trees that are growing all over the place, absorbing nearly as much carbon anyway. It's actually not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And if you're taking the carbon and you're not just like lighting it on fire, then you're not turning it into a gas. You're not putting it up into the sky. So you're not adding carbon into the atmosphere that way.
Right.
You're just burying it back in the ground in a landfill.
Yeah.
So I don't quite understand the carbon argument
Sure.
so much.
Yeah.
Maybe a portion of the carbon argument because you don't have an old tree, you have a younger tree that's growing. But I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one. But
Yeah.
I do think it's not healthy. It's not good to have. I mean, I agree. We don't keep receipts anymore. My wife used to have us like collect every receipt so she could go through and like match it, and now we don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Because of this very thing.
Yeah, you can usually get a digital receipt a lot of the time for the most part if you need one.
Totally.
And there were
we've learned to trust our banks, which is a big mistake, but we've learned to trust our banks. We just look at the statement on the bank and be like, oh, is it there? Did I do that? Yeah, I did that. That's right.
Yeah.
But we don't look very closely. So I mean, if I were the bank, I would just like charge an extra penny every single time and just keep it.
Yeah, and there were people
Because I'm rotten.
rotten to the core. That's why you deleted your receipts. So there were commenters that were angry. Of course, they were like classic California for banning, and then the other people were like, that's dumb because if you're shopping, this will give people license to shoplift and walk out of the store and be like, well, it's a digital receipt or whatever. You know, like it would just you need to have that physical proof of I bought the thing. And Clayton we were talking about like, what if you're a kid?
Yeah, what if you're like a 9-year-old who buys like a candy bar, whatever, and then you walk out of there and there's like the little old man who's like, hey, you stole that. And the kid's like,
No, I didn't. Here's a receipt. Like, well, where's your receipt? It's like, I don't even have an iPhone. I'm 9.
Yeah, exactly.
What are they gonna do?
Yeah.
And then like, well, why is your voice so stupid?
Look, I was born this way.
Yeah.
Because I haven't got your puberty yet.
Because I'm 9.
But when I go for puberty one day, you just wait, mister.
I'm gonna come back here and
I'm gonna get on
give
my
you a
bicycle
receipt.
and I'm gonna ride all the way to the moon.
You sound like Pee-wee.
Yeah.
So
It's got to be different than I have a younger alien who's young. It's got to be a little different because he's so young.
Good.
I can't do that. I got to do this. The 9-year-old's good. I like what we find between that 9 to 13.
So yeah, there's problems with banning it, but there's clearly got to be. It's no surprise that somebody assembling person in California would want to ban them because that seems very California to do that.
That's how we roll.
Yeah.
What the heck is Costco going to do?
I don't know.
Like when you walk out of Costco, they're like, "Show me your receipt."
Show me your receipt, and they have a highlighter ready to mark
They
it.
like literally check your stuff.
And
Because
it
you're
says
going to shoplift at Costco.
it says stores that continue to give out printed receipts could be subject to a civil penalty of $25 per day, capping at an annual $300. So they'll cap you for over the course of the year, but that's the fine if you're handing out paper receipts if this goes through. It hasn't gone through, I don't believe. It hasn't gone through.
Is the ban on this thermal stuff?
No,
It's just
receipts.
receipts.
Paper
in
All receipts.
General. And I don't know if that's
Holy
just a way to
smokes,
kind of like get rid of the problem in one fell swoop. So it's like, well, there's a lot of people using the thermal, and even if you're using an old school paper printer, we're just going to be done with it or whatever. But I don't know. It's just something. If you're out there in the world and you're grabbing the receipts, I'm not here to say that you can't. But if this is a concern of yours, there are some plasticky fibers on them that aren't great for your skin. They're not great for your stuff. So worth considering. And if you have the means to take a digital receipt, I would do it. That's my encouragement.
I agree.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
I agree.
Thank you.
Hold on, let me talk. I've been talking to my lawyer a lot today.
Okay, in case you're just listening to the show, Clayton has moved in as Noel's legal representation, and he's whispering in his ear about what he is allowed to talk about and what he's not allowed to talk about. And so that's it's very important when you're watching these proceedings that's what's going on here.
I'm starting a new cause.
Okay.
I will no longer tolerate 12 days of Christmas.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. No more.
Going forward, we get 3.
3 days of Christmas. Oh, this is not going to go.
We
well.
are asking for too much,
Too much.
and the song is exhausting.
It is. It is. That's be fair.
It's too much for me
As
to
your
handle. I
lawyer
don't
in
want
the state
to.
of California, I think we should ban 9 days of Christmas and leave the 3 for
Yeah.
those of us who need taxation.
That's all I'm looking for.
Excellent.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
All right. Well, that was a pumpkin spice episode right there.
Oh, is this spicy?
It's spicy.
I like that.
We talked about the subject for a solid 10, so we went more than the 3 that we usually
What?
do. Yeah.
What?
Shame.
I've never done anything for 10 minutes in my life.
That's very true.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think about the receipt thing? You think, hey, maybe after you heard all this, do you think maybe you'll grab receipts less, or do you think it has no impact on you?
I usually don't grab receipts already, so I usually get it texted.
Okay.
They ask, like, do
You usually
want
get a
your
digital
receipt texted?
version
Yeah.
anyway. That seems common with your
Yeah.
generation.
I'm like, yeah, sure. But
Yeah.
it's just there.
You're
Yeah.
just never going to talk into that microphone, are you?
Yeah, no.
It's not going to happen.
She just will not.
Does
put it
not
right
matter.
there.
It does not matter.
She cannot stand to put
I
it right
can hear
there.
myself.
That's all that matters. Clayton, what do you think? Are you a paper receipt
I don't
taker?
know. Here's the thing. Like, I think why not go old school? Because, paper is in fact, biodegradable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. Old school ink is fine,
Yeah, it is.
whatever. But yeah, I completely understand the whole like getting your skin, mess with your neurons, all that kind of stuff. That's horrible. So yeah, I agree with it. But at the same time, banning. The problem in California is that the weather is so good, and I don't want to leave it. So that's the thing. And they could.
Some of us don't have a choice. Thanks for bringing it up.
Oh boy, but I think banning is pretty harsh. I think retooling.
Retooling.
I'll retool you.
Retool you. But I think just like rethinking a receipt. Like paper and ink, good old fashioned stuff, man. If you if you're gonna go to the Apple Store, give me a freaking paper and ink because I don't want to run away from the guy who's gonna chase me because I just bought a laptop.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
So there you go.
Okay, we've solved it.
We did?
We did it.
We fixed it? We fixed it?
Yet again.
One
Another problem done. With that, we thank you for listening to this pumpkin spice episode. We're going to move right into another one. We can't do the show without you, so make sure you're subscribed and you're sharing, you're talking about it. And now with this episode, you're like, the show was bananas before, but now they've added a new member and it's gone just off the rails. And now this is environmentalism for crazy people. That's what it is. This is 100% a madhouse. Thank you for listening to the Biofriendly Podcast. We are your beacon of light in a gloomy environment.
Bringing you top quality content first. It's 1823.
There you go. Science without the stiffness.
Green without the groaning.
Inspiring fear and love.
This show is about patience.
Well, here it comes. Careful. You'll catch feelings.
Corn Dog Rogers and Kerosene Guy have had a lifelong battle in my head.
You nailed it. It's not like I want to celebrate it because we spent months for you getting this one right, and you now you do it effortless,ly.
So easy. Too bad I'll be gone.
Yeah, I know. Too bad you're moving to Brazil, buddy.
Yeah.
And then this show. On this show, we turn your enemies into friends.
We are down with the hooey.
Let us do the teaching because you're terrible at it.
It's a new one today. Which one of it? So which? There's two.
There's two new ones.
Let's hear the proposals.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you have your decorative wheel.
Oh, yeah, your decorative wheel. That was what we were saying.
Your decorative wheel.
Yeah, decorative wheel, so
Okay.
non-functioning.
And then Clayton is our abundance of clarity.
Oh, Clayton is our abundance of clarity. I vote for the Clayton abundance of clarity, even though the decorative wheel.
This could be. I don't know.
Neither.
I don't know.
Scrap them both.
Now that time has passed.
I hate it.
I hate them both so much.
They're both suck.
They're so awful.
They're awful.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Huh? Scratch them out.
Scratch
They're
it.
terrible.
He's furious. Furious.
Why did I have her write those down? What? Look at how much time I wasted of your day. You're precious,
Can't
important.
believe
I can't believe I did this to you.
I can't believe you.
All right. Before we get out of here,
The things I put poor Veronica through.
Clayton, would you like to say anything before we get out of here?
It's good to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you like to say anything, Veronica?
Pumpkin spice, happy nuggets, and stop it, smell the flowers.
Yay!
It's the Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.